Hi, everybody. Thank you for your patience. I'm really excited to be here live with you today. I am Brandi Michelle. I'm a happiness coach. I help really successful people who focus on achievement their entire life, who then realize that success and money aren't giving them the fulfillment that they thought it would. I help them shift that paradigm and realize that happiness has to be a goal of its own versus hoping that it will be an outcome of their success or their financial abundance. And really, it's the best job ever. Today, we're going to talk about honesty and how honesty impacts your overall happiness. If you have any questions while we're speaking today, please feel free to drop them in the comments, and we'll go from there. Before we get started, just a reminder, we all know the quote unquote fundamentals of how to be happy. We meditate, we practice gratitude, we prioritize relationships that are meaningful, but still so many of us are unhappy. So I really partner to teach people the core fundamentals in a way that actually works for them. And I have the gift of helping people bring awareness to that which is unknown and interfering with them truly being happy. And this allows people like you who've checked all the boxes of success and achievement to finally cultivate true happiness. The best part is when you increase your happiness set point as an unintended consequence, you are going to see that all that you're seeking comes to you much more easily. You're going to have less friction in your life. You're going to see more ease, more flow, more synchronicities. It's really such a gift. Such a gift. And I know this because it's work that I have spent the last 7 years doing with myself. So let's jump right in from here to talk about honesty. And this really is fundamental to our personal growth and our overall well being. Let's delve into why it matters that we're honest with ourselves, why it matters that we're honest with others, how it impacts our brain, and how it impacts our ability to co create the life of our dream, manifest our desires. Um, so, firstly, why it's important to be honest with ourselves is because honesty does have to start from within. It's like really crucial for our own personal growth and self awareness. When we're honest with ourselves, we really, first and foremost, like acknowledge our strengths, which is most important. Like, know what you're good at, embrace it, love it, hold it, covet it, shout it from the mountaintops. Like, you get to take up that space in the world and share with everyone, like, what you're really great at, right? Like, I was actually just texting a friend with some gift ideas, right? Because she's brilliant at picking gifts for people. And I love giving gifts, but I'm always like thinking about it and thinking about it and ruminating about it. And so, why not reach out to someone who's brilliant at it and like bring our strengths together? Like, I love giving gifts. I want to get it right. And if there's someone who is awesome at it, like lean into that. So I love that she shouted that strength out for me and is willing to share it, right? And then from there though, we also have to acknowledge our areas of opportunity, our weakness, right? So do it. Just like lean into like what you aren't good at. So like for me, sometimes like I am doing a million things at once and I tell people like if I don't get right to back to you, I've probably forgotten, right? And when you let people know that, then they don't feel badly about reaching back out to you and they also don't feel badly that you forgot because you've just like acknowledged it. And so it just really sets um a great foundation in like being connected to yourself, but also in connecting with other people. And really, when you're honest with yourself, you're going to be able to better confront your fears. You're going to be able to better like lean in and face your insecurities. And you're just going to like love who you are, like your authentic self. And that is beauty of a lifetime. So, the more honest you can be with yourself, right? It allows you to gain clarity about what you value, what you're passionate about, what your aspirations are. And this level of self awareness is so empowering because from that space, you're going to make these beautifully informed decisions that allow you to align with what you truly want, right? So you're going to be taking action and doing things for the right reasons. Um, and then it just becomes this, again, foundation for living an authentic and a really fulfilling life. Now, from there, it's just equally important to be honest with others. Like when we practice honesty in our relationships, we foster trust between you and the other person. Like when people know when you're being authentic, and it really also gives like this much deeper connection between you and the other. I always say that one of the reasons that I do my absolute best to be honest at any given point in time is because I believe that our intuition always has a knowing, right? And so when you're being honest with someone or they're being honest with you, or vice contrarily, when you're being dishonest with someone or they're being dishonest with you, you may not be able to pinpoint it, but something about that experience will feel off to you, right? And so I think that our souls have this knowing. And so when you are always your authentic self, you're always being honest in your interactions with others, even when the news is tough, that bond is going to be much stronger than if you are being dishonest, right? I usually find, right, like in working with clients and just like in my lifetime in general, that people aren't able to peg dishonesty the more dishonest they are, right? So because they're kind of like willing to live in this lie, for lack of a better statement. So if you want to connect and be with people who have kind of this as a fabric of their being, this desire to always show up and be in this honest place, the first step is doing that yourself. So it just really builds these beautiful, strong bonds and really promotes effective communication, like where I, feel comfortable and confident in kind of speaking my truth. I want to pause here and just say, right, like, don't forget what your mom taught you. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Um, so you don't always have to speak your truth. However, when you choose to speak, you should be honest. Those two things are very separate and different from one another. So we want to always be our whole selves, but we don't need to say everything we think. And also, of note is if you don't have anything nice to say, that's like different work that needs to be done, right? Like if you're always kind of seeing the worst of a situation and feeling the need and feeling like it's necessary to state that, that is work in and of itself. And that is alive for another day. Okay. So, just in closing, being honest with others allows you to express your needs, right? Because sometimes we don't feel comfortable saying what we need. It allows you to express your desires, what you want, your preferences, right? So, sometimes we as women might be taught like not to say where we want to go or what we want to do and to acquiesce to, our partner or something of that nature. And this allows you to say, like, both and, right? Like, "Hey, I prefer pizza tonight. If you want Chinese, I am so flexible that I can get Chinese," instead of just saying whatever you want when you actually have a preference, right? And then this honesty allows us to create those boundaries from a place of love that I talked about a few weeks ago on a different live. So you want to just really maintain these kind of open and honest relationships. And by being honest with others, you actually connect an environment for a genuine connection, a connection that's built on a framework that we both can show up as our whole selves. And that allows us to thrive, right? And no one can understand you if you aren't showing up from this honest perspective, right? And so it cultivates understanding, empathy for who you are, empathy for who the other is, and this beautiful kind of symbiotic mutual respect. So when we embrace honesty in our interactions, it really creates this ripple effect that, like, not to overstate it, but can really kind of transform both relationships and communities because it sets a precedent for how we expect and anticipate that we interact with others. So now let's talk about my favorite part. As you guys all know, I always say that our brains are so incredibly powerful, right? This is why you'll think of someone and they'll call you on the phone. Or I've told this story already recently, but the other day I was like thinking about ordering focaccia at a restaurant, and I was asking Charles if he thought we should add on focaccia. Of course, he's like, if you want, order it. And then literally like 2 minutes later, our server comes over with focaccia and says, the chef wanted me to bring this as a gift for the table, right? And so that like ability to connect and align with the universe is like so important. And that's why we want to have like such congruence in our lives. We want to have such clarity so that that connection between you, your higher self, infinite intelligent, God, source, whatever you want to call it, is really clear, right? Like I always say, we want a direct line there. And one way that we do that is through honesty, right? So neuroscience research, this isn't just like my personal beliefs, but there's so much research that has shown that honesty actually activates the reward center in your brain, right? So when you are being honest, your brain is releasing dopamine, and it generates this sense of pleasure and satisfaction. And that sense, right? Like the work that we're doing of increasing your happiness set point, being in that happy place is going to result in, quite simply, more good coming to your life, right? And this positive reinforcement is going to encourage you to continue to be honest. So I've told you guys a million times, I tell Charlie all the time, the better it gets, the better it gets. What I don't tell Charlie, because he's just, 6 years old, but I need you adults to know that's also why kind of the worse it gets, the worse it gets. And that's the importance of choosing again in every moment to choose to shift things, right? So never have a bad day, just have a bad moment and then shift, right, into this better place, because you don't want the snowfall effect from a downhill perspective, but we definitely want it from this perspective of creativity, growing and aligning with the life of our dreams. So it reinforces on itself as you continue to be honest, right? You're going to reinforce integrity. It's going to strengthen your character, and you're going to see kind of this beautiful snowball effect. Okay. So now here's the part about also there's a downhill effect. When you engage in dishonesty, the brain experiences the opposite. The brain actually experiences this cognitive dissonance, right? And this dishonesty, it triggers stress, it triggers anxiety. And again, those are those like dense emotions that pull you away from your goals, your desires, that which you're seeking, right? And over time, right? So the more and more you engage in this behavior, it can lead to a compromised sense of self and really emotional turmoil, because your brain is now like, what is true, right? And your brain also starts to believe that your word isn't good enough. Your truth isn't good enough. That is why you are choosing to not be aligned to it, right? And so honesty, on the other hand, like promotes peace of mind. Like first and foremost, you never have to remember the truth because it's just the truth. And you have this mental well-being, and it reinforces a sense of personal integrity. And so you guys know I don't love talking about manifestation, but the world does. I believe that we're constantly co-creating the life of our dreams. But when you think about kind of this co-creation or manifestation, honesty actually is going to influence that, right? Because what does the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction is a universal law. It's not something that people believe and then it's true for them. It's true for all of us. And so it states that our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs shape our reality. So when we are honest with ourselves, again, think about what I said, how it impacts our brain. When we're honest with ourselves, we align our thoughts and actions with our true desires. And this alignment is going to really strengthen your ability to co-create the life of your dreams. So your ability to manifest, right? And that's why I say kind of all of these, the work that we're doing, these topics that we're discussing contribute to raising your happiness set point. And as you raise that happiness set point, it really strengthens your ability to have the life of your dreams, right? Because now you're firing in all cylinders. So again, being Honest just allows you to identify and overcome limiting beliefs, because if you're being honest with yourself, you're going to start to more clearly see the beliefs that may be hindering you. It's going to allow you to set clear intentions, have clear goals that you can then visualize and take that inspired action. And again, action is how we align with the life that we're seeking. So you want to align your thoughts, your emotions, your actions with honesty, with clarity. And then you become this really powerful magnet for attracting positive experiences and opportunities into your lives. It's so good. Can't make this up. So while you thought like it was a little white lie, I hope today I've really illustrated for you the importance of like really being integral with your word and your actions, and kind of like doing what you say you're going to do, and showing up in this beautiful ways, both for yourself and for others. So honesty is a transformative force that impacts personal growth, relationships, brain functioning, and really your ability to co create the life or manifest your desires, however you want to look at it. By practicing honesty with ourselves and others, we nurture both self awareness, build trust, and we create kind of this like really authentic life that feels very fulfilling. So I encourage us all to really commit to like embracing honesty in all aspects of your life, and knowing that like it actually is a very powerful tool that contributes to you unlocking like potential and better and more specifically shaping your reality. So I wish for each of you really to identify a couple opportunities where you may have shied away from speaking your truth and really leaning into those. And then also kind of doing a self assessment on where you may not be kind of sharing with yourself exactly what you're thinking and how you're feeling, and also leaning into that. Okay. So, sending each of you so much love. Just in closing, I have linked here in the comments a link to the Joy Blueprint, which is my four-week program. And it's really for people that feel like something's missing in their life, despite all their success and accomplishments, or maybe feel like they're constantly searching for more fulfillment or purpose and not quite sure what it is. I totally understand you, because I have felt that way too. And I used to think that achievement, success, financial stability would make me happy. And I found myself feeling still unfulfilled and searching for something more. And that's why I created the Joy Blueprint. It's a course designed to help you find happiness and fulfillment from within by prioritizing your mental and emotional well being. You can break free from the cycle of constantly searching for more and really create a life you truly love. When you shift that paradigm and make happiness a goal unto itself, you're going to use those same tools that have created so much success in your life in other aspects. You're going to use those tools and reapply them to happiness. And when you raise your happiness set point, you're going to see more synchronicities. You're going to see more ease, more flow, and really decrease that tension. So I'd love for you guys to sign up. There's a cohort that starts on the first Monday of every month. So if you'd like to sign up for the July cohort, you can learn a little bit more at the link here, brandymichelle.com/the joy blueprint. And I would love to have you. It's 20 classes, a 4-week program. And there are also weekly coaching calls where you can like jump on and ask me any questions that you may have. In closing, I always say that changing the world is an inside job, and it starts with each of us. Imagine a world where 8 billion people were happy. What a world it would be. You are the change that you are seeking. So let's prioritize joy and let's go. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're watching this after live and you have questions or comments, feel free to post them below. I'll answer them at any time. And again, thank you so much for being here.